It's saying panel, but then it's not giving me the option to. Aha.
There we go.
I actually had to say I was doing wallpaper. You're now officially the wallpaper.
There we go. That's how we
All right.
roll.
Give everybody, if everybody would go ahead and share it out, double tap the screen for us, get some people in here. Usually, you guys were watching me with Bobo last week. It doesn't take the whole hour, so we got some time to kill. And we had technical difficulties, but I just figured I'd just use my regular phone instead of my streaming phone. Would be a little bit easier.
There we go.
Oh, there it is.
Waiting for Hoodie to get it together.
I'm together. I'm just sharing it out.
I just shared it out too.
Wow. Actually, the first day, no drama has been. I wasn't late to your drive at 5, and now she can be talking shit. See how it is.
Q, what's going on?
I know you were on time. I was giving you props for it.
Joanne. Crew's popping in.
We're going to, Baker Girl, welcome in. DJ Q. We're going to go ahead and get started here for episode 2 of Tales with the DJ, or from the DJ. Your host, DJ Hoodie J. We are going to be interviewing DJ Jesse James. All right, welcome in everybody. We are doing an interview here with DJ Jesse James. Why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself for some people that may not know you, and tell us a little bit about yourself.
So, I am DJ Jesse James. It's written right there. That's me. I don't know what you want to know, but I mean, I have been DJing on and off since I was a teenager. I started, actually, it was funny. My first experience as a DJ, I was in elementary school in 5th grade, and they used to have those school dances. My teacher would even go old school enough to be like, "We're gonna have a sock hop, right?" And we had one of those boom boxes with 2 tape decks, and we had one of those little tiny cassette players with the 1 speaker. So I learned how to drop mix like just on my own. It was like an original idea that I had, and obviously drop mixing is drop mixing, but I mean just the way I came about it, it was just like what's the word? It was like natural. It just naturally came to me, and I used to like prepare tapes in that one little tape deck with the 1 speaker. That's how I cued everything instead of headphones. And then we'd pop them in the tape decks and we drop, and drop, keep going back and forth. Used to piss the teachers right off because they wanted the whole song to play through.
We're mixing it over here. Deal with it.
Right?
DJ.
And in high school, moving on to high school, I mean, I got my first taste of real DJing in a radio show. My buddies went and got an internship at a college radio station right by my high school, and brought me in afterwards into the show. And that's where I first started. Got my first taste of turntables, what it's like to work the mixers, the big consoles. We had to do radio spots. We had all sorts of stuff we had to do, like on an actual radio show. We're in Canada. I'm in Canada, so we have the CRTC, and it's the Commission for Radio and Television. And we have to respect Canadian content. So at that time, and I don't know what it's like now, but at that time, play something, we had to be like 33% Canadian content. So we had to like put our entire playlist into a database and make sure that, we have 33% Canadian artists. So back then it was a hip hop show. So we did, a lot of the Rascals, Cardell Official, Ghetto Concept, Thrust, Choclair, who else? Infinite. I don't know. There's even Quebec artists too that we'd play, some French artists too, like Mouzion, Dogmatic, Sans Pression, stuff like that. Yeah, and from there, I got into the digital DJing. I discovered like softwares online, and this is before digital DJing was even popular. And I'd start messing around with that. I would map my keyboard on my computer to the controls on the mixer, and I would I would record mixtapes for parties like that. And this is what I would do. And then at one point I decided, well, you know what? It's either at this point now where I'm going to start like partying with all my friends, now that I'm of age and I can do all this stuff, or I should like maybe like invest in something and pursue this even more. I chose the party, and and this is a hobby I'd come back and forth to over the years. I'd buy equipment, I'd sell equipment, I'd play with it, I'd make tapes, I'd sell it again. I would, and then fast forward to I don't know, a few years ago anyway. When I met a guy, and he's a friend of my wife's friend, and has a mobile DJ operation. He's been doing weddings and stuff for years, and he's like, "Wait, you used to be on the radio? You know how to DJ? You can do this, you can do that, man. You got to come with me." And here we are now. So I started a mobile DJ operation. We started off as partners. We split off, and now here I am.
Yeah, so I saw you live earlier. It looks like an old school or something, a little end of the year party you were doing.
It was my old high school. So I got lucky last year. There was a teacher, I guess he's a hobbyist DJ. I don't remember who it was. And at this point, they hadn't done a school dance in like 18 years. So, at some point, school dances fizzled out. I don't know what it was, if it was, paying the staff for supervision or whatever, who knows. But they stopped doing school dances. And this was the first one that they had done in 18 years. And they had this teacher lined up to DJ. And all of a sudden, he wasn't able to do it. So they started doing an SOS on Facebook, and I got referred to, and then I was contacted that night. I had like less than 2 days I had like 24 hours notice for this gig.
Yeah, I was kind of scrolling and going back and forth, and
Yeah.
you had the California girls going and stuff. So you had it for all the young.
Hey, these kids, I like. Just one thing, when I picked up this high school gig last year, I was worried about what exactly they like, because I'm not going to lie, there's a lot of new music I don't like. I don't get it. It's not my thing. I like my old school hip hop, like my dance hall, I stick where I'm comfortable, and it worried me. And when I got there, the requests these kids had there, they wanted Boney M, they wanted Earth, Wind and Fire, they wanted Gasolina. I'm like, what? This is great. So now I've kind of become the official DJ for my old high school. So nice. I did their end of year party. I did Spirit Day earlier this year. I did their end of year party today, and in 2 weeks I got the prom.
The prom. So, tell us a little bit about your family, when you met your wife. I know she's a big supporter of you and your mobile DJing business and your kids.
Yeah. So I met Jen, actually, this past Monday was our 1 year wedding anniversary. We've been together for 18 years. Thank you. We've been together for 18 years. We waited so long just because we couldn't agree on exactly what we wanted. And
eventually on exactly what you wanted, like so, like get married or not.
I grew up very family oriented, and I couldn't take a big step like this without my family there. And most of my family the bigger part of my family lives in Ontario, and they're going to have to come down for the whole shebang. They're not going to come down. Well, I mean, they would have come down, but they wouldn't come here for just a party. You know what I mean? So we waited so long for that. And then the other year, we're just like, you know what? We need something to do. Because at this point, it doesn't even matter anymore. So we decided, let's just go. We're just going to get married. Let's go. We'll organize something, and it'll be fine. So we did that. So I met her 18 years ago. It was a blind date with one of my friends who was dating her sister at the time. And yeah, we hit it off. She carded me. That's a good story because the bald head. Yes, I shaved my head, but I have the lack of a hairline, so to speak.
Yeah, that's
Uh,
fun.
I met even when I was what was I? I was 22 when I met Jen, and so yeah, even then she saw me like I was there. I had a hat on. You know those that Cypress Hill kind of hat there.
Oh yeah.
I used to wear one of those all the time, and she and when I met it, she met me with that hat on, and then I had to take the hat off for whatever reason. It was hot or whatever, and she's like, "How old would you say you were? I need. Let me see your driver's license."
Uh,
Yeah. So yeah, so we've been together for quite a while. It took us a while to have our kids. We had little hiccups along the way, having children and stuff, whatnot, but everything worked out. Um, yeah, we got two wonderful boys, 11 and 3. Yeah, Rock is going to be going off. Well, that's the way school works here in Quebec. There's no middle school or junior high, so Rock, my oldest, is going to be going off to high school next year. Actually, the school where I was just DJing at today. And Dax, he was born in October, so he goes past the limit, the cutoff date, so he has to wait an extra year to go into school.
oh.
But yeah.
Or haven't. So, I know you do, like you said, the school. You do weddings, parties. What what is easier for you to do? Parties like that or stream on TikTok?
I have more freedom on TikTok.
Okay.
The only thing that I find hard is the lack of an audience, and by that I mean the people are in the chat. I have my supporters, I have my friends. There's people that always pop into the streams for a little bit, whatever, and they're always there. They're always like having great conversations, giving great feedback. But it's not the same as playing in front of playing in front of an audience, where you can actually read the crowd and kind of see what's going on, and you can kind of adjust yourself accordingly. But at the same time, though, on TikTok, I get to play a lot more of what I love because I don't have to deal with that.
Yeah.
Weddings in particular, they're a lot of work,
Yes.
tons and tons of work, and it's a long day, but it pays. It pays very well. Um, so they're kind of worth it in a way. But they're a lot of work. It's a lot of prep work, and that's just getting that, and that's like aside from the reception itself, the big party, just getting everything lined up and making sure their day goes off without a hitch because that falls on your shoulders.
Yeah. So, what kind of equipment do you use?
So after I moved on from using my keyboard, I got into controllers. The digital DJing thing was like really cool. I thought it was really cool. I got this one. My first controller I got was a Newmark Total Control. I don't know if you've ever seen these. You'd have to Google this thing. It didn't even have a built-in sound card. The sound card was a separate piece. The Newmark DJ IO,
Yeah, I know, yeah.
and it was a controller like maybe 12 by 12, and these little tiny jog wheels on it and buttons and it was a great little thing. It was one of the original kind of controllers, and I rocked that for a little while. I had another Newmark Mix Track too, but I stuck with controllers for quite a long time. I moved up. I did some Pioneers. I had an SB3 for a while, SX2. I have a Denon Prime 4, which I loved, but it got kind of sickening because it's so big, and the case for it, and just the heft of it itself. It became like I got sick of dragging that thing around. The end of a night, the end of a gig, and you're tired, and it's like,
Oh no.
the speakers. As if the speakers aren't enough, now you got to pick up this friggin' monstrosity.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
But one thing I've always been into is, I mean, I'm no turntablist by any means, but I've always loved the DJ Jazzy Jeffs, the Scratch Bastard, starting from scratch, Spin Bad, Spinderella from Salt and Pepper, like all those things were always I always thought were so cool because those are kind of the iconic kind of DJ kind of styles, the turntables and stuff like that. So when I decided to step away from my Prime 4, I went to a Rev 7. I picked up a Rev 7 because it's a cheaper way of getting a turntable set up.
Mm-hmm.
Because why the hell not? And it's portable. It goes to my gigs. It gets me back onto Serato. Perfect. So I picked that up and I really got the taste for it. So now I have what I use on for my lives anyway. I have my home studio, PLX 1000s and an S9.
Yeah.
So I got the full size turntables for home from TikTok, and then I got the portable the Rev 7 for when I go out.
Yeah, and you just mentioned for your Serato, so you use a Serato DJ as your program to run the DJ controller and everything.
I've used them all. Uh, I mean, there's perks there's pros and cons to every single one of them. It all comes down to like it's like it's asking somebody what their favorite car is. You like Chevy or you like Ford. It's all every car manufacturer, everything has its pros and cons, and it all comes down to kind of your own personal opinion. Serato, it's great. I find it's a great software. It's solid. When using Denon, I was using the Engine OS, and that was really good. I enjoyed it a lot. But one of the things that was starting to get to me, aside from the weight, was just the prep work I'd have to do. So for a wedding, you have to I'm constantly building new crates because I have to have all their crates with all their specialty songs, all their special requests, the dinner music if they want something very specific, all these things. And so every time I build a new crate like that, it's like, okay, cool, get the crates done. Now I have to sit there and plug it in and USB, and I have to transfer it all over to the Denon, and it's like, and then I got to transfer it over to the other one because sometimes the other one's going to be serving some purposes during cocktail hours, like a backup mixer.
Yeah.
So I had two Denons, and I got so sickening of all that extra work. It's like, you know what, Serato, you do it once. Well, any software really, virtual DJ or record box, you build your crate, it's there, it's done. You plug your thing in, and you go. It's done, finished. So
So you keep kind of going back towards the whole turntables. Is there
yeah.
anything in the back of your head that says just want to try it once, maybe meet up with somebody that has them? Like any thought of like maybe getting some to try it?
So my first experience with turntables was back at the radio station.
Okay.
The radio station had a huge library of records. Nothing I'd actually play, but stuff I'd like scratch off of and learn to scratch off of and sample stuff from. And that's where I got my first taste of turntables because the radio station, the way it was, it wasn't set up for like a live DJ per se. I mean, we can make things work, but we didn't have a traditional mixer at all. I mean, we had like a mixer as in like a recording studio mixer. There was no crossfader. We're cutting with but that's where I got my first taste of turntablism. And as I recall, we may or may not have been polluted or whatnot, and those turntables may or may not have gotten trashed one night. But that's hearsay, and I don't know. But yeah, no. So that was my first taste of turntables, and it's when I got back into DJing afterwards, it's not something I really focused on much because I was kind of looking at the cost aspect, and I was like, it's all the same, whatever. And then, I started seeing other things as I'm like kind of like exploring and whatnot. I see more stuff, and it's like, you know what, the turntables might be cool. I want to revisit that. I want to go back to Serato. I think it was YYC. He was pushing me towards the Rev 7. He has a Rev 7. I'd see him with that. I'd see other people using like, Rain 12s and all this stuff, DJ Jazzy F, and watching all of his streams and whatnot during like all the lockdowns and everything. I was like, yeah, you know what, let's go. Let's go with that. And I tried out the Rev 7, and it definitely got my taste for turntables. Like, yeah, this is exactly where I need to be. Forget the jog wheels, forget controllers.
I mean, is there any upcoming equipment? I know you're always online looking at
I
stuff.
didn't know such thing.
Any like equipment that's coming out that is kind of catching your eye? Maybe switch up, want to give it a try.
There is all sorts of cool technology that's coming out, but right now I feel like a lot of it's just taking what already exists and really making it better, as opposed to something really cutting edge. Because I mean, like Pioneer, for example, like we'll take turntables because we're talking about turntables, but like Pioneer, for example, they came out with this past year, the other year, whatever, the Cross 12s. So they have their hybrid turntable with needles, and it's digital. So it's just like a Rain 12. You have a little clamp on it. You flip a switch, and now it's just like exactly like a Rain 12. It's a digital. It's a controller basically, and this is wonderful. But I mean, to say I as opposed to like the PLX 1000 where I can get a phase set up, or I can use digital vinyl with needles, and I have to go to get this thing with a clamp. Like, Eh,
Yeah, because I see some videos like on Instagram and Facebook and some of the wedding DJs, and they got the whole nice setup with
yeah,
the tables all white and everything looks really nice with the LED lights on it. It's like, man, it's like you could do that with a controller. You can order skins, but it's just something about the way it looks at some of these weddings. It's
the
like,
whole full size thing is always impressive.
yeah, it's just
But
like I
I,
want that, and then you search and you're like, no.
hey Kelly, yeah, no, like I looked at that too, and when I was shopping around a while before I bought the full size tables because I'm looking for that special deal, and there's a guy actually who was liquidating his entire home studio, and I picked up all of his equipment, the S9, the turntables, all of his control vinyls, these KRKs behind me. I got external mixers, wiring, what else? I don't know. I got a whole bunch of crap from him, and yeah, like
So do you have
like when you get it and then you pick it up and you feel the weight of these things. This is where the decision is like, yeah, these guys who bring the full size stuff to a wedding, like, yeah, no, those guys can keep it up. I'm gonna bring my Rev 7.
yeah.
You know, the Rev 7 weighs less than one of my turntables.
Yeah, and then some of those guys that are doing that and that's their living. Like you have a job. Like that's all they're doing. Like they're doing 3 to 4 weddings a week
Yeah,
and they're paying somebody to hook it up for them and carry their stuff for them.
all the Nick Spinellis, the Rick Webbs, whatever. Even then, these guys have their setups, they have their transportations. This is what these guys do.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not that fortunate. It's I live in an area where there is just this oversaturation of mobile DJs. So I mean, to sit here to be able to make a full time living out of this would be like, in my area, would be next to impossible. There are some people that pretty much pull it off, but these are people who have huge reputations, and they've been at this for a long, long time, doing the weddings and the big events. So I mean, it's one of those things. So, and yeah, it, I'm not that guy who's going to be carting around full size turntables and a podium.
Yeah, maybe one day, but yeah, so I've had that kind of, and I've kind of, text you back and forth, trying to get my DJ business back up. I just went to New York a couple years ago.
Yeah,
I did weddings and parties and everything when I was in Florida, and it's a lot of it's word of mouth. Like you got for
oh
your
yeah,
high school, you got recognized, and somebody said, "Hey, get Jesse James," and you got the gig. Up here, not being in New York in 20 some years, like I barely, my family's hardly here anymore.
yeah.
It's just like trying to get the name out. Like I got, another a gig coming up in a couple of weeks. I don't even know what today's date is, and hopefully word of mouth, get out there and play, and be like, okay, and get going. Yeah, but it is saturated. And one thing that gets me is like I'm on like all these wedding Facebooks, and I'm writing messages, congratulations, trying to sweeten it up as much as I can,
Yeah.
and then I get in there and they're like, people are saying, trying to find a wedding DJ that's not charging $2,000,
Hmm.
and I'm like, really? Like that's what these people are charging? Like it's
Plus,
yeah, and
like,
that's just like baseline. I'm like, man, hey, throw me $400 and we'll have a party, like just to get going. But it's like you can't even get in the door that way because you're like, oh, you're cheap and you're not going to sound good.
this is the other thing, because like one of the things that a lot of DJs talk about is the nobodies that are just like they'll go to along the equator, say in your case, Guitar Center. They'll buy some entry level controller, and they're just gonna kind of do whatever, and they think they buy equipment. Now I'm a DJ. I'm gonna go and I'm gonna underbid all these guys. I'm gonna get all these jobs, and they do like horrible work. And I'm not saying this is everybody, but this is a lot of this happens a lot, and people even here around here talk about it. I'm sure it's the same thing down by you. It's it's you run into those kind of things. So I mean, but I mean, the only thing I could say is don't sell yourself short.
Yeah,
Like
no,
make sure you're comfortable. Like, cause like for example, this high school gigs, I do those on the cheap. Why? Because I know the school only has a certain budget.
yeah,
I want to try. I want to do something for my old high school. I want to do something for the kids, but I can't keep doing it like stupid cheap like I was. Like I had to put my prices up this the next couple of gigs just so I'm still comfortable. But they're still getting a wicked deal,
Yeah.
you know. And weddings for me, a typical wedding is probably between 12 and $1,400, and that's going to be like I'm there the entire day. I'm going to be there 14 to 16 hours. I got your ceremony covered. I got your reception, dinner, music, cocktail, all that junk. It's all done, and you know,
Yeah, and a lot of people don't realize too, like as doing weddings, it's meeting with the bride and groom before, like what music do you want? Like what are you looking for? What do you want for, first dance, cake cutting, like everything. And it takes then you got to build your playlist based on what they want, and it does take a lot of work.
oh
And
yeah,
I think a lot of people don't realize like we're not just or you especially because I haven't done it in years, but you're just not going to a wedding throwing your stuff down, popping your speakers up, throwing your lights on, press and play. Like there's a lot that goes into it to make sure that you have all the music and it's
yeah.
all queued up in crates or folders, so when the mother son dance is going on, I got to play this song, and it does take a lot of work. Plus, you said being there all day, and I don't, a lot of people don't realize how much it does go into it. With DJing. I mean, I know.
2 years ago, I did a wedding at a farm. It was an outdoor gig. It was a whole day, and I really hope everyone was happy. I mean, no one said anything otherwise, but I got heat stroke just in the ceremony,
Yeah.
and I was done. And we hadn't even gotten to dinner yet. I still had to get through cocktail hour, let alone and then the party. And like no, but it's definitely not an easy thing. And any party really. There's so much prep work you can put into it. But I mean, especially in the case of a wedding, I mean, this is someone's special day. You can't mess that up.
Yeah. Yeah, so because I have the gig that I have coming up is a car show, and they're
Yeah.
having live bands, and I'm just gonna play and do announcements in between the live bands, and so I'm gonna when I get there, get with the bands and kind of music they're gonna play, and try to get the crowd hyped up before they take the stage and stuff. So a little different. I'm kind of more excited about the cars, to be honest, though.
Free admission, right?
Yes, yes, yes. Free admission. So outside of DJing, you did touch on the family a little bit. Any hobbies or anything that you do?
Yeah. So one thing I haven't posted much about on TikTok really. It's all over my Facebook though. I'm a huge Ghostbusters fan. I'm a nerd for geek culture. Um, so I'm into collectibles, toys. I do cosplay. It's in specific Ghostbusters cosplay. So I mean, I have the proton pack.
Can
I
we
have the
see the pro?
suits.
Can we see the proton pack, please?
Do you want to see the
Yeah.
proton?
Oh, you knew it wasn't gonna be easy, bud.
Oh,
I
you want to see the
anticipation.
proton pack? Give me a second. Let me get it. But yeah, no, I got the whole setup. Some of it is built, some of it is bought. Um, but yeah, no, I do that whole thing. Hold on.
He should have had it ready because he knew where I was gonna go.
I had a feeling, but I wasn't sure. So this here is the easiest one I had to get a hold of.
Looks like a car engine.
Almost. So yeah, so I wear that thing for like hours and hours on end.
And do you have the Ghostbusters suit to go with it?
Oh yeah, those are U.S. military flight suit. So I have a lot of people. They'll go with whatever they need. They can get for their budgets, and so I mean, there's all sorts of different options. You can get a flight suit for like $30 on Amazon. I have the U.S. military Nomex flame resistant suits, um, custom patches with my name on it. I'm not pretending to be Bill Murray or Dan Aykroyd. Look at me, I can't pull either of
Oh,
them
you
off.
pull that off.
you know. But yeah, so I do that. I do Comic Con. I've done Comic Cons. I've met all sorts of cool people through that. Some like actors and whatnot. One of my friends, he does car restorations, and he actually built up the Ecto One in Quebec. Another friend currently owns it. He's building it. My buddy Martin, he's building another one. So it's there.
So so you've met actors. What's the most famous actor you've met?
The most famous. Okay, for an actor, I want to say Alfonso Ribeiro. I've met other actors, but I mean, it's one of those things. If I go to when I go to Comic Con, I'm going to spend. I'm going to throw down money. I am going to throw down money where I really want to throw it down. Like some people go there and they're just like, yeah, autographs, pictures, let's go, 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 go. Like they did. These are people that really. These are going to be people that really touch me. So obviously, Fresh Prince of Bel Air was a huge deal for a lot of people.
Yeah.
The chance to meet, Carlton, like what the hell.
Do we get the dance?
I wasn't going to push it. Imagine how many people every day ask him for that. But I did go meet him with a bunch of my buddies. We took photos with him. I value photographs with these people more than an autograph, to be honest. I think that it's cool when they sign something for you, but to have that piece that memory that you were there,
Yeah.
and that I find that so much. I find that so much more valuable. But yeah, no, I've met him. I think I was probably the most famous actor. I had a moment with Jason Mewes. We had a moment. There was I was I was walking through Comic Con and I saw they had the lineup for Jason Mewes and Kevin Smith that year. He had to cancel. He wasn't able to make it, but Mewes was there, and we're trying to figure out where the lineup was. And we see all it's such a big crowd over there, and we see his table and we see this lineup coming out of it. Like, oh, it must be right there. And then I look over. I'm standing beside the rope and I'm trying to figure out where the start of it is. And before I realize that it's all the way down at the other end of the fucking building, Mewes is standing right beside me on the other side of the rope, and we're staring at each other. I'm like, oh my god, it's Jason Mewes. He's probably looking at me like, man, that guy must be hot in that suit.
James.
Snoochie boochies. I met the original male Power Rangers. I never met. I mean, the Tui Trang who played Trini. She died years ago. Amy Jo Johnson. I've never met her, but I did meet Jason Frank. Rest in peace, the Green Ranger. I met Austin St. John, David Yost, and Walter Jones, the original Red, Blue, and Black Rangers. I also met Steve Cardenas, the second Red Ranger. But him was just like, I'm out of money. I'm going to go to his booth just to shake his hand.
So if there was any artist that you would like to open up for or be a DJ, be their DJ, the resident DJ Jesse James for any artist, what artist would that be?
Oh my gosh. I don't know if I'd have the nerve to even put myself in that situation.
Hey, you never know.
You know, I've met I've met DMC. So people, I'm talking about Run DMC. I met him actually at Comic Con. He made a comic book.
Yes.
He's a superhero, DMC, and I met him there at Comic Con. I got him to come over a few times to our Ghostbusters booth and like sign my friend's car, take all sorts of photos with us. But I mean, I love Run DMC.
So that speaking of that right there on Peacock TV, I don't know if you guys get that in Canada.
Yeah.
They have a documentary for Run DMC on Peacock TV,
Oh,
and
yeah.
at the end of it, there's like 2 or 3 episodes. At the last one, Derek talks about all his comic books and
Yeah.
his kids getting into it and everything.
Because I had no idea until I saw him there, and I'm like, I'm there, and we're preparing for the whole weekend, and I'm just like, DMC, like what?
Yeah, at the end of the documentary, like it goes through the whole beginning and fall of
Yeah.
of everything, and it shows him with his comic books and his thoughts behind it.
Yeah.
It's a real personal interview. It definitely would suggest anybody that knows or likes Run DMC at all to look it up and watch it, it's like 3 episodes. They're like 45 minutes long each. It's really, really, really good.
Yeah, so I'm like, yeah, DMC, he's such a cool guy too. Like he's so, like, you go to anybody who's ever been to like a comic convention or some sort of autograph signing or something of something of that nature. These people are always there, and they're in their zone, they're in their spot. So they're behind a table, they're seated or whatever, and they're signing your paper. Yeah, they'll shake your hand, they'll talk to you, they might get up, take a selfie with you or something, you know, but generally they're kind of in their zone. DMC, this guy is in like the passageway. He's in the alleyway between tables, and he's just hanging out there with everybody else, crossing his arms, shooting it with everybody passes by. His managers and his entourage are the ones sitting behind the table, and they're eating like their lunches and stuff. I'm looking at that, I'm like, wow, like, you know,
Yeah, so my stepson Sean, he got cancer when he was 10. So
yeah,
that when we lived in Florida, they had an event, a Runway to Hope, where the kids with cancer that went to the hospital, we go. It was all paid for. Macy's closed. They did a Runway to Hope to help raise money for children cancer, and they always had the news people, the celebrities, and everything. And it's right there in Orlando, so there was always Orlando Magic players there. Derek Anderson, Bo Outlaw's there all the time. They're big supporters. Um, the one that really got me, and you just like, some of them are in their element and they will just like wave to you by, was Jason Williams. They called him White Chocolate. Used to play for the Sacramento Kings. Like, one of my heroes growing up. We're pretty close in age, but we were out in the hall, and I just went up to him, knew who he was, shook his hand, said I was a big fan. He literally stayed there and talked to me. Yeah, White
yeah.
Chocolate, 10 to 15 minutes. Like, we just were talking basketball, and it was, he asked about Sean, and it was cool. And then some of the other celebrities that were there, Victor Oladipo was there. It was like, all right, snap a picture, talk to you later. But Jason Williams, like, I'll never forget. I have a picture on my Facebook. He just sat there for 10, 15 minutes and just sat there and talked to me about basketball. It was really cool. So, yeah, you do get those celebrities who are in their zone and they don't want to do anything, but then you have the cool ones that, well, they're cool to me because he talked to me for a while.
So yeah, I like Run DMC. That'd be cool to do something.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't see myself saying no to that.
No.
But I'm also, anybody who really knows me knows I'm a huge fan of Vanilla Ice. And laugh it up. I'll wait.
No.
But I love Vanilla Ice. Really underrated. I mean, yeah, he, like, whatever. Like, but I'd love the opportunity. So I've seen him in concert. That was wonderful. That was a wonderful experience. That was my first concert actually. And also one of my guilty pleasures is Insane Clown Posse.
Ooh.
I'm just not sure if I'd ever really want to DJ with Insane Clown Posse because my shit would get wrecked.
You might want to take the little single cassette with the play button and play that. So if it gets ruined, you're good.
I mean,
Don't take the Rev 7.
like
YYC will be mad at you.
I don't know if anybody knows what it like about ICP, like how many jugglers are out there, but like they do what they call a Fago shower, okay? And Fago, for those that don't know, it's like a cheap brand of pop. Yeah, on Sabanur, you know what I'm talking about. It's a cheap pop, It's like RC Cola and shit. So, and this is like the ghetto pop, and instead of like them talk about old English and 40 ounces, they talk about 2 liters of soda, right? So, I mean, these guys in the shows, however it came about, they just started like soaking the crowd in it, and it became a thing. So when I went to their show in Montreal, it's my first ICP show, and I was like, and I'm looking, and like the whole place is like covered in like plastic. And then when the show is about to open up, the merch booth gets covered in plastic,
You know what
and
to
it
do
was
now.
on. I was soaked head to toe. My glasses, like the glasses I was wearing that night, those little rubber things inside, they still have like traces of root beer in it. Something will never come out. But like, and so I can just imagine, like, if you're actually for someone to actually DJ for them when they're doing a Fago shower.
Yeah. The old cassette player.
Yeah, I think.
All right, so I'm gonna play a little trivia with you here.
Okay.
We know, you said earlier that you like the '90s era, so we're gonna Um, ask you a couple questions here. See if you know the answers. Oh, how fitting that the first one is, who sang Ice Ice Baby?
Hmm.
Hmm.
MC Hammer? No, of course it was Vanilla Ice.
You can't touch this. Yeah, how fitting was that with that? The first question that comes up. Wow. I
These
think my
questions were designed for me.
yeah, the phone was listening, just like the United States government. They listen to our phones down here all the time. Oh my! They're literally listening. Because guess what number two is?
Oh no.
Who sings "You Can't Touch This"? And
Uh,
I
I
am
know
dead.
this.
I am
Wasn't it
dead
too short?
serious. Like this is
MC Hammer, of course.
like I'm not. I can't make this up. It's
Hammer
dead
time.
serious.
Uh oh.
All right.
Uh oh.
Here's a little one different. Doo wop that thing.
Lauren Hill.
Lauryn Hill. Sabotage.
The Beastie Boys. Come on.
My boys, my Beastie Boys. Now that's
Beast.
me. I would open up for them in a heartbeat.
You know, I played at the high school dance. The end of the dance is something I used to do at the bars too. The last song of the night would be "No Sleep."
Yes.
I played it at the end of the dance, and of course, and these kids were asking me for all these older songs, you know, and I'm like, you know what? I think I have a good shot at this pulling this one off. I played "No Sleep." Nobody got it. The teachers, the staff, they loved it. They're like, yes. They didn't get it.
I'll never do karaoke, but my karaoke song is Paul Revere.
Mine's "Ice Ice Baby."
Yeah, no, Paul Revere. Yes, that's my song. How about Vogue?
Madonna.
Madonna.
Excuse me.
Here's one I know you like. Jump.
Crisscross. I love Crisscross. Oh my god.
This trivia was perfect for you right here.
Did you see that their last concert, that So Def reunion show, that the 20th was the 20th anniversary?
Good.
It was like I don't remember how long ago it was now, but it was right before Chris Kelly died. Because one of the members died, if anyone doesn't know, Chris Cross. They did a reunion show with Jermaine Dupri, and he did a So Def. He got like as many So Def people he could together, and you know, Debrat, Jagged Edge. I think Luda did something too. Anyway, Chris Cross was like the opening of the show, and I was just like, oh my god.
All right, All Star.
Smash Mouth.
Full mouth. Say my name, Jesse.
I'm sorry. Did you want Destiny's Child, or you asked me to call you a bit?
I was trying to get you to spit out your drink. Is what I was really trying to do. All right, a couple more. Baby, one more time.
Britney Spears. By the way, check out my remix on SoundCloud, Jack Black and Britney Spears, the duet.
Well, how can we get to your SoundCloud?
The internet. There's a link in my bio. For real. There's a link right to my SoundCloud. When Kung Fu Panda 4 came out and I heard the Jack Black version, I was like, this is kind of cool. You know what would be even better is if Britney Spears is on the song too. So I did it. And it's on SoundCloud.
Yeah, speaking of that too, that does bring up one thing I had in my head. You and YYC did a mix together too. That's out on SoundCloud.
Not anymore.
Not anymore. Oh, got taken down.
Yeah.
So
SoundCloud is funny like that.
Yeah. So I know people don't use it as much, but the copyrights aren't as tough as Mixcloud.
Yeah.
You can get away with a lot more stuff on there than you can SoundCloud. Well, okay. Well,
it's something we talked about and looked into, but as I understood, we have to pay a membership for Mixcloud.
So Mixcloud is free, and you can upload so much stuff. But if you want to do more,
okay.
Because I'm thinking about with my podcast, extracting the audio from the video,
right?
Putting them on, trying to get those onto like Mixcloud, so people that they can't watch, they can just listen back to it. So I'm working on that. So to do all that, because when I did my that DJ interview for the casino,
Mhm.
I had to have a mix for them to listen to, and I
Okay.
did it on Mixcloud, and it didn't cost anything. I'm not. There's a data byte. There's so many megabytes you can upload for free,
Yeah.
but past that you do have to pay, and it's not. I mean, you can make enough gifts in a live in a night to pay for it. It's not that
No,
expensive.
it's something. It's something I look at again because I did have that trouble actually with some of the mashups I'm doing. I do a lot of mashups, my remixes, and there's one I did. Jen said you need to do a Madonna song, so I was like, okay, and I'm like going through thumbing through some Madonna songs, and I came across La Isla Bonita, which is a song by Madonna that I've loved since I was a kid. I used to have the cassette, and I put it with Coolie Dance. If anybody knows dancehall, so I put it with the Coolie Dance, and it was awesome. It made a great mix. It really like put some party into the song. I put it up on SoundCloud. It got taken down.
Yeah.
It's like fine. Well, let's play with the song a bit. We'll change the key here a little bit. We'll tempo it a little bit differently. It lasted 10 minutes and it got taken down again. So I ended up finding a cover by a French artist named Alizé from France, and I loved it so much better than the Madonna version.
Yeah, no, they're it's all crazy. I mean, especially even with TikTok, with them not being able to do monies, is
Yeah.
basically like most of our videos on TikTok got muted, and it's all about money. And that's different from, what you were saying back in high school. You're DJing with a cassette tape. Now
Yeah.
everything's pretty much mainstream.
Yeah.
The artists used to make the money off how many cassettes or CDs or records were sold. Now they're making money off how many times somebody downloads a song.
Mhm.
So the copyright's definitely a lot tougher than it was back when I was a kid.
Yeah, and like as far as I'm going, like I'm not trying to make money off these songs. They're. I don't think I ever open them up for download because I'm scared. Because you put them up, it's like yeah, terms and conditions, whatever, and you upload the song, and then when you go to like turn the downloads on, it gives you like a big red like friggin' you better have the rights to the song or else. So it's like maybe I don't want to click the download on button. Like, but I mean, I put I make those mixes for fun for myself and to share them with people. Like
It's
it's
a place to keep them too. Like
yeah.
as long as SoundCloud's always around. Like one of my uh, whatever TikTok says post, the year later it says you made this post.
Hmm.
The remix I did, I don't know, 10, 12 years ago. And I'm surprised it wasn't muted. I went back and checked this afternoon. It wasn't muted, but I was just playing around.
Yeah.
And people go to my page and check it out. It was it was just playing around, but it was on SoundCloud,
Yeah.
and it was just it's always there somewheres for it to always be.
So yeah, so I mean that Jack Black one was one thing that's up. It's up on my SoundCloud. The remix you're talking about is Shy Guy, and that was one of the singles off of the Bad Boy soundtrack. If anybody remembers that back in the day, Diana King, Mercy, 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 Mercy. Anyway, so there's that one. I got to find a place to make it available again. I did a Biggie remix that's up on SoundCloud. Unbelievable. We did Drift with Don't Tell 'Em. That one is huge on SoundCloud. Like, well, huge. Listen, I'm a nobody, okay? And for this thing to have as much traction as it does, I'm like, holy crap.
Yeah.
Because again, like, like compared to I'm no James Hype. I'm no DJ Jazzy Jeff. I'm not laid back Luke, you know? Like I'm just looking at it right now, like where
You
it's sitting
are
right now.
the legendary.
78. It's been online for like a month and a half, maybe 2 months. It's got 7,800 listens.
Damn, that is.
Yeah, Britney Spears is at 159, and that was the first one I uploaded.
Remember us. Remember us.
But yeah, like anyway, so there's some of my mixes that are available there. YYC, he works in the club. He works around a couple clubs in Calgary, and so we're fortunate enough to kind of have a bit of a distribution too. Like Shy Guy is our track; we did it together.
Yep.
But even some of the other, like my Biggie track, my Drift remix, those get circulated around. There's people playing them in Calgary in the clubs. There's people took it to Toronto. Um, yeah, like it's people are loving it. Like people are loving those tracks. And that makes me so happy. Like I've seen videos online on Instagram stuff that a YYC sent me, and you see people just in the club just jamming to my song, and I'm like, yes, like it's so rewarding. That's all I want.
Yeah.
That's why I did it, just for fun, just for people to enjoy. So
So one thing I wanted to do on my podcast and make sure I did it with all my guests, I know we're getting here close to the end, is open up the chat for any questions for DJ Jesse James. Let's keep it clean. He's in Canada. His politics are different than they are in the United States, and not get into that. So we got about 5 minutes left, so we'll go ahead and chat. Go ahead if you have any questions. Um, we'll go ahead and ask Jesse. I did have my drive at 5 that I've been doing every day at 5:05
Yeah.
to 6. Angie was in there and she didn't know she could make it tonight. But she did have a question for you. So I'm going to go ahead and start off with Angie from the 305. She wants to know, how do you keep your head so shiny?
Turtle wax, baby. Hold on, we got no drama. She wants the puppet.
Yeah, no drama wants the puppet. Yeah, she asked that earlier. Oh, we got a puzzle piece. Really? Come on. Man, that puzzle piece is a little bit easier to do than when you're drinking.
We got the puppet. Hi, no drama. This puppet actually I've had since I was a kid.
How many times has that been sewed?
None.
None.
I
So
got it in like a puppet workshop in Toronto, downtown Toronto. I live in Quebec. I grew up in Toronto, actually. Um, I remember going to school. We did this thing out. Baker Girl knows where it is, I'm sure. And we just went to this place and everyone got to take home a puppet. And I've had that since I was little.
So YYC wants to know which DJs in your group would you like to mentor, and hardest conversion rate mix?
Who would I want to mentor? I'm gonna mentor Minty
Oh,
because she asked. Actually, I was giving Kelly some DJ lessons too, because she was interested in it, but she doesn't come to my house no more because she's all stuck up. But and what was that? What was the other part of that? The hardest, the conversions.
yeah.
So, conversion rates. Anybody who doesn't know about like dealing with conversion rates if you know about BPMs, it's like how many beats are in a song per minute. Oh my god, I got the answer I wanted. But so the song plays at a certain speed, so many beats per minute, and you can cut that in half and still mix in another song on beat. Like it works just like that. You can double it, you can half it. So I mean, it's relatively straightforward math. But when you start getting into like 63 and a half, and and it starts messing with your head. I mean, I think that's where like it's just like getting all those weirder numbers. Like when it's not an even number, it's not something that's just easy. You can cut that. That's where you start
So
getting
you're
like messed up.
you're saying you're not really good at math.
I'm saying that I'm okay at math. And if you want to get complicated about it, then yeah, I'm gonna drown.
Yeah, 4 beats, 6 beats, 8. So Busy does bring up a good question, because I've been trying to get this for quite a while. Got any ideas for the next song? Since we haven't heard the first song, maybe we can hear the second song. Busy wants to know if you got any ideas.
um, I got a couple things that are cooking on the back burner. There's a song. What the hell was it? I don't even remember what it was now. I can't even. But I know there's another Biggie song, a hypnotized mix I'm working on. Because I love Biggie. Biggie makes everything better. I put Biggie in Busy. Busy made a song, Gloria, mashup, and I put Biggie in that too. That was that. It was just wonderful.
The YYC's other question that I didn't see is, what do you find the hardest genre to mix?
Rock music, rock and country, anything with like a lot of guitars. Like I find it complicates things because it's hard to. I like to mash things up. I like to just force things together, and the guitars and all the different frequencies that go along with that complicate things. That's in my experience anyway. There's some of them that have like great start off points and they just work. Like if you want to take we'll say take a hip hop song and you want to turn it into a Limp Bizkit song. You throw some guitars on top of that, that'll work. But it's trying to say like take a Limp Bizkit song and then you're gonna mix it into a Linkin Park song. You're gonna have that. I mean, you have frequencies that clash, but I find guitars they clash so much for my ears. It doesn't make sense to me to mix them like to really blend them together.
Linkin Park and Jay-Z set the world on fire. That's a
Well,
tough
that's a different thing. That's what I'm saying. You know, like
Yeah.
you could take this and put it there, but like I find like like anything rock music, there's just so much going on in the song. There's so many instruments and so many like intricate little things. I just find it complicates everything when it comes to like trying to like push a mix through.
Yeah.
That's for me anyway. Maybe there's just something like there's some sort of light that I just haven't seen yet. That's totally possible because some people do amazing things with that stuff. But
Yeah, see, my musical background is I'm a nerd. Growing up, I was always percussion, playing the drums and everything. So I have that. I know how to, keep that beat. Always playing the drum set and everything. So that kind of with the whole rock thing, I get that beat, and that's where I get the beat from hip hop. I'm always playing the drums. I'm with your wife. She's always on my side. She wants you to re-record your original rap song, and I'm with her. I'm with her.
you got oh my gosh. Oh hoodie. We'll see how lucky you are today.
So Kelly says, if you could mix on any scene in the world, where would you go? You have to leave Canada first, okay?
Canada first. Oh my gosh, that's something I've never really thought about. I'd honestly, I'd have to go to some sort of hip hop festival. I think that's something of that nature. I don't know what, but I mean, I think that's be where I'd be the most comfortable. Tomorrow, a lot of those places are cool, but I don't know. Like, I feel like if I'm going to get up on stage, I'm going to do so much better representing some sort of hip hop show than to throw down a big house set. I mean, I can do house music, that's fine, but I think I just have more fun in a different kind of environment.
All right, so last question. YYC wants to know if you could replace any equipment right now, what would you get and why?
Replace any equipment. I would probably replace my S9 with an S7, or an S7, maybe an S11, because using my Rev 7, I can be very OCD sometimes. I like things to match. The S9 is a great mixer, but it doesn't mirror my Rev 7 that I take out to gigs. So there's always just that little bit of like an oh yeah moment. My button isn't here; it's over here now because this is if you note an S9, so instead of having the buttons on top of your cue pads, where you'd have like your hot cue, your roll, this, that, the other thing, sampler, there's 4 buttons right in between them. Whereas the S7 has that more traditional kind of layout. That'd probably be, I don't know. I think that'd be what I would get if I had to trade something out now.
Trying to make sure your OCD's right. That's all.
It's fun when things flow. Like it's like you can get off one thing and go right to another. Of course, at the same time, it doesn't help you grow either. Like to go back and forth from different types of equipment, it kind of helps you in a way too because it prepares you to play on anything. Mm-hmm. Like I got like four vintage CDJs sitting under my desk right now. I got 2 CDJ 1000s and 2 CDJ 800s, and a Gemini mixer. Like.
That was like my Gemini back in the military, we won't go how long ago that was, but yeah, Gemini was the first one I had. So, Jesse, I appreciate it, man. I'm glad, we got some viewers in here today that got to know a little bit more about you.
Yeah, me too. This is great.
I thank you for coming on. If you guys join in late, miss part of it, probably Monday, Tuesday takes me a little bit to kind of edit it out, and I'm learning how to do the edit from when I did Bobo's last week. So each one's going to get better, but it is on my YouTube channel, DJ Hoodie J. You can go to my bio up there, click on the Instagram, and it will take you right to my YouTube. The interview from Bobo is up there, and I'll have Jesse's up there on Monday or Tuesday. Episode 2 of Tales from the DJ.
Thanks for having me. I hope I answered all your questions. If there's more, just ask.
Yeah, we will. Next week, I do have an underground artist coming up. YYC, we'll get you in there, man. I do have an artist who has music released, and she's gonna come on next Thursday, and I'm gonna interview her, talking about her music and stuff. And me and Tipsy, if anybody's come and join me and Tipsy, we play her music all the time. It's really really good, and they have their whole little beats that have the skunk beats, makes the beats for her and everything, and it's really, she does a really 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 good time. So next week she'll be on here Thursday night, so help promote it, get more people
Oh, yeah.
in here. But yeah, I definitely appreciate it. If YYC wants to do it, and then anybody else that wants to come in, and just, it's a laid back conversation. Just try to, there's people, they see us behind the camera, they see you in coffee talk, but you guys are talking about so much other stuff, and no one really gets to personally know the people that we follow on TikTok. So this is kind of why I'm trying to do it, so they get to know us a little bit better.
I'm a real person too, Ian.
Oh, right. Yeah. It's not all just smoke and mirrors. Busy, take care. So if any DJs that want to come on, we'll do this every Thursday night at 8 o'clock, and then, like I said, we'll have shorts. I'll get some shorts put up on TikTok, tag DJs in there, and then the full episode will be over on YouTube. Brother, I appreciate it.
Thank you so much, Hoodie. I'm glad I can be a part of it.
Yeah, no, it's just, we're starting. It's only second episode. Hoping to keep it going, and maybe one day we'll get 2 or 3 DJs up in here at the same time, just shooting the shit.
Hell yeah, that'd be wonderful.
Yeah. All right, I appreciate everybody's love.
Thank you everybody for the gifts, the likes, the taps, the shares.
Just need one more thing. If y'all just go to my page and watch 5 or 6 videos and like them, trying to get to those 100,000 views. I'm struggling. No, I'm doing it.
Shameless plug.
Hey, man, yeah,
Go to my
SoundCloud. Gotta pay for, but I do appreciate everybody's love and support for just not me, DJ Jesse James, most of all us DJs.
Hey, Rita.
We're trying to, we kind of, know each other and stuff, but there's a lot of people out there that don't know us. So this is a great opportunity for people to get to know us a little bit better. So we definitely appreciate everybody's support. And we will see you tomorrow at 5 o'clock on the Drive at 5. Thanks, Jesse.
No problem, man. Take care, everybody.